Good morning, this is Amanda Selvaratnam, Director of the Training Gateway. Welcome to the webinar, British Education and Training Providers to Brunei and the Philippines. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes for the rest of the delegates to attend online. If you've got any specific questions during the broadcast, you will see on the little pop-up screen there is a web link that says, or there's a button that says questions. If you go down to that and press on it, you can write a question and you can either send that to everybody or send that to a specific person. So we'd recommend you send it to everybody because I think the questions are probably relevant for all delegates on the call. So we'll start in probably 9:03. Okay, for those of you who's just arrived online, just to say we're just going to give the delegates a couple more minutes to sign on. If you've got questions, then please use the question box on the sidebar. I think it's sidebar. And then if there's any specific questions, we'll come back and answer those at the end. If there's any questions we can't answer during the call, then we'll make sure we respond to those by email afterwards. Okay, well, I think we will start. There's a few more people who will probably join during this call. So once again, my name is Amanda Selvaratnam. I'm the Director of the Training Gateway, and I'll be leading this trade mission at the beginning of December. So welcome to everybody who is online. I know we've got a number of the delegates who are coming with us online. So I'm going to first of all pass over to Alan Lai, the Director of UK-ABC Corporate Affairs, and he will give an introduction to UK-ABC and a little bit more about what UK-ABC doing. They are one of the key partners for the delivery of this trade mission. Alan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Amanda, and a very good morning to those of you in the UK, and good afternoon if you're dialing in from Southeast Asia. My name's Alan. I'm the Director for ASEAN Corporate Affairs at the UK-ASEAN Business Council, and we're delighted to be working together with Training Gateway on this very important mission to Brunei and to the Philippines. Just wanted to use this opportunity to share with you a little bit about what we do at the UK-ASEAN Business Council. ASEAN is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. As you probably already know, it's made up of 10 of the Southeast Asian countries. Together as a region, we have 630 million people. It's going to be the 6th largest economy in the world, and high and very fast growing middle class, and there are lots of opportunities in Southeast Asia. And the job of the UK-ASEAN Business Council is to raise the profile of the opportunities in the region. We can send you the deck. There's lots of information on facts and figures on Southeast Asia. But you will hear specifically on Brunei and the Philippines from my colleagues in a little bit. But the role that I wanted to highlight to the participants is that we are here to help. We have a presence in London, in Millbank Tower, and we've got Paul North, our ASEAN Trade Advisor, is also based out in Derby and can also reach out to anyone who needs support. So the role for UK-ABC is to help UK businesses who are looking to export and do business in the region We help to provide insight and understanding and connect the dots. We have outreach programs that we do in Southeast Asia, but also across the UK. So for example, we did a roadshow across 5 cities about a month ago, highlighting all of these many opportunities. We work very closely with the Department for International Trade, with the British Chambers in the region, and with UK businesses as well. Go to the next slide, please, Veronica. Thank you very much. So BritCham, BISIA is the British Association of Southeast Asian Chambers. There's one in each country, apart from Laos, which has the British Business Group actually. But we have a tremendous amount of support from the within the UK and within Southeast Asia as well. Next slide, please. So these are some of our UK partners, and these are our corporate partners. We work very closely with the British business groups in country, and also with the ASEAN governments in country in Southeast Asia, but also with the embassies that are located in the UK and their trade attaches as well. So there's a huge amount of support that we can provide in the UK. Next slide, please. This is just reiterating the support that we have and the collaboration we have with the Department for International Trade and other organizations. Next, please. This is the Britain in Southeast Asia, which I was mentioning earlier. And again, the UK-ASEAN Business Council can provide a range of opportunities and outreach programs, helping you to network with the right people, get in touch with the people that can help you within your geographies and within the sectors that you work in as well. And we work very closely with the British Chambers of Commerce. Next, please. Please do visit our website, sign up for the news alerts, and you'll have emails sent to you to keep you abreast as to what we're doing and have all the information. There's a wealth of information that you can find on our website, so please do stop by after this. You can register and have things straight into your inbox, and it's filtered to your specific industry as well. Next, please. We also have microsites, one on education and talking about the specific opportunities in Southeast Asia. And the last slide is just about the team and our contact information. But I personally am based in Brunei, and I'm really looking forward to meeting those of you who are coming out to Brunei and taking part in the mission. I look forward to explaining to you and working together with Amanda and Siti, who you'll be hearing from in a little while, about all the opportunities in Brunei and across Southeast Asia. It's a very dynamic, fast-growing, fast-paced region, and UK-ASEAN Business Council is here to help. So thank you very much for listening. My email is on the screen, so feel free to reach out and get in touch if you have any specific questions. And my colleague Paul North's details are there as well. So with that, I'll pass you back to Amanda. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alan. That's great. Really good to get the overview of UK-ABC and the amazing work that you're doing supporting UK organisations expand into the region. Right, I'm going to quickly hand on now to Siti, who has put together with her colleagues a phenomenal programme through Brunei. So she's going to give a short presentation on the opportunities there, and I think a little bit about the programme that's being set up. Over to you, Siti.
Hello, hi, good morning everyone in the UK, and a very good afternoon here for colleagues in Brunei, Alan, and colleagues in the Philippines as well. So I'm Siti Mahmud. I'm the Commercial and Prosperity Manager at the British High Commission in Brunei Darussalam. Now, the British High Commission in Brunei is quite a small post, and we are a non-DIT post, but I do lead the prosperity work across all the sectors. So I do work very closely with DIT on the education sector. So just a bit of introduction on, a bit of background on Brunei. Brunei Darussalam is a high-income country with a population of 421,000 estimated, and it's an oil and gas dominated economy, accounting for about 60% of its GDP. So Brunei has a long-term sustainable development plan, and it's called Vision 2035. It aspires for economic diversification, and one of the aims is to have an educated, highly skilled and accomplished Brunei workforce by 2035. So a bit of the Brunei education system, it is very strongly linked with the British education system. Most of the syllabus in the public schools from primary to tertiary adopts the British curriculum, actually. So as for the school age, they do the preschool education in the country starts at 5 years old, and the primary education is from year 1 to year 6, 6 years old to 12 years old. And for the secondary education, it's about 5 years. And by year 11, we do sit for the Brunei Cambridge Certificate Education Ordinary Level. So that's, in short, it's BCGCE O level. And they do have an option to go further studies in TVET institutes or to pursue their A-levels at pre-university level A-levels by sixth form colleges. So again, from the so there's an option from A-levels, they go on further education in the public institutes or private institutes in Brunei, or they do go for further studies in UK is one of the most popular destination for further studies. And besides that is Australia and New Zealand. So, according to Brunei statistics, the public institutes, or rather public training institutes, can't accommodate all the local students. For example, out of the 4,000 applicants, only 2,000 were accepted. So the remaining applicants would either resit or get lost in the system. So hence the desire for establishments for more private training providers to complement the public institute. So hence why in terms of the skill gaps in Brunei, we've come up with the trade mission. The theme of it is the continuous professional development, because there is a gap in Brunei TVET space where graduates are more industry awareness but not industry qualified. So Brunei has been practicing industry placement to maximize employment in the short term, but with little skill built due to no structured training program. So it was recommended to adopt an industry-wide apprenticeship program with common standards, and in which both the Brunei government and the industry are exploring at this current stage. Because Brunei lacks the accredited training programs that's focused on TVET. And there are 5 priority sectors involving energy, tourism and hospitality, ICT for smart nation, smart city, marine, and the 5th one being construction. So it was shared with me by the Brunei government that the energy sector is a developed sector where the required competencies have been identified, but the remaining sectors are still developing and the required competencies are currently being explored. And this is where UK companies like yourselves can help identify what competencies are required based on your experience of implementing successful training program in other markets. So the training program that Brunei is focusing on that they want to cater for is across 3 main groups, 1 being the job seekers, 2 school leavers, and the 3rd existing employees. So that's more on upskilling and reskilling. And the required level of qualifications are mostly level 2, 3, and 4. So here's the opportunities. What are the opportunities? Although Brunei is a small market, but it has significant opportunities with a strong government commitment on human capital development, like mentioned in the long-term sustainable development plan. The Sultan just recently announced the importance of upgrading the education system to remain relevant in the preparedness of Industrial Revolution 4.0. So now Brunei has ambitions for local companies in Brunei to partner up with international companies like yourselves to provide accredited training program. And I believe this Training Gateway Trade Mission would be the ideal platform to connect with UK companies and Brunei companies. And I think this is the right time to strike, because Brunei at the moment is at the conceptual stage to come up with an effective ecosystem for the accreditation processes across all the sectors that I've mentioned, the priority sectors that I've mentioned previously. So at this stage currently, Brunei does not have a national competency framework. So based on my discussions with the key government stakeholders, what they are expecting here is that they want to lean on your expertise, on UK expertise, to guide them on the process and implementation, of course, towards the Brunei context. So that's it for the opportunities. I hope that you that is a clear explanation on the opportunities. So I'd like to just quickly cover the program for the mission. So it's a 2-day program. So the first program, the first day, which is the 2nd of December, for the first session, there will be the education landscape briefing session, and this would be delivered by the it will be a welcome brief by the British High Commissioner, His Excellency Richard Lindsay, and then this would be followed by remarks by Alan Lai, UK-ABC, as he is based in Brunei. And then there will be a session on experience in doing business in Brunei by Laksamana Business College. Laksamana Business College is a TNE where they've got, they're partnered with University of Chester. So I think they would be in a better position to explain to you all how it is, what their experience is in establishing the institute in Brunei. So moving on, the next session would be with the Ministry of Energy, Manpower and Industry, where they will give you a slight overview of the Brunei job market expectations in each of the 5 priority sectors that I've mentioned previously. And then after that, there will be the next session would be on the Brunei TVET system. So this will be held at the Ministry of Education. So there will be a lot of briefing by the Institute of Brunei Technical Education, and then followed by a briefing by the private education section, and also the Brunei Darussalam National Accreditation Council. And then at the end of the day, you would have, there will be a business reception. Well, it's a social reception hosted by the British High Commissioner at his residence. So this would be a chance to mingle and also build relationship with some of the members from the business community in Brunei in the education space. So the first day would be more on a scene setting by the policymakers, just to give you an overview of what Brunei wants, where Brunei is, what the direction is in Brunei in the TVET sector, so that you can just, you know, cook up some ideas on your sales pitch for the following day. So the following day would be, it would be at the opening event of the forum. So it starts at about 8 o'clock. I think for 8 o'clock, that's when you can start setting up your tables where you will, for the B2B meetings. So it's merely just to put up your collaterals, your banners at the table, and the table will be just laid out for you. So it's just a quick, simple setup at that early morning on the 3rd December. So the event itself will start at 8:15 to 8:45 with registration of participants from the Brunei organizations attending the business forum. And then, so again, the opening would involve just a quick welcome from the British High Commission, and then by Training Gateway by Amanda, and then the keynote speech by the guest of honor. So the guest of honor, it could be, because we've extended the invitation to the Minister of Education, and it could be potentially be the Minister of Education. If not the Minister of Education, it would be the Deputy Minister of Education. So, and then followed by that, after the keynote speech, there will be the panel discussion moderate on the future of work. So that will be moderated by the UK-ASEAN Business Council. So there will be 3 companies, well, 3 organizations at that panel. So we're looking at about 40 minutes. I think it's about, yeah, about 40 minutes or so, no longer than that. So after the panel discussion will finish, it is expected that the guest of honor, the minister or deputy minister, will visit each of the UK companies by the table as a quick brush by, just a quick introduction, a quick talk, a quick chat with the minister. So he will be going around at each UK companies, and then he will go up on stage for a group photo together with the trade mission. After that, after the group photo ends, and that's where the this is where the companies, UK companies, will do a quick introduction of themselves as about to demonstrate your capability through practical case studies and delivery, and just to see how some of the successful case studies that you have implemented in other markets. So it would be a quick 10 minutes sales pitch. And then from there, once I think that would take about 40 minutes or so, with 4 companies have agreed to give a sales pitch, 10-minute sales pitch. Then after that, that's when we will have the B2B meetings. So the B2B meetings, the seminar, the showcases, and the opening event will happen at the same location, at the same room, just to be, consistent. So for that B2B meetings, the registration, we have sent out the invitation to the Brunei audience. So what is expected for the Brunei audience is that we have invited policymakers in education sectors. We have invited private training institutes in Brunei from all across the industry, from energy to hospitality and tourism, marine and construction as well. And we've invited businesses from different associations, trade associations in Brunei. And we're expecting about 120 to 150 people for the forum. And for the B2B registration, we are expecting about 20 to 30 companies from Brunei, and we will register. We will share with the UK delegates, or we will share with Training Gateway once the confirmed slots by the Brunei companies, once they've registered for the business-to-business meeting. And I think as for the what is expected from the delegates during the sales pitch or quick introduction or during the B2B meetings is that they are really looking at, successful case studies in the markets, because I think Brunei government is now looking at if they can have an off-the-shelf program for accredited training programs that can be implemented in Brunei. And again, there is a big ask about how they can come up with a national competency framework and how you can develop the whole ecosystem on effective accreditation process as well. And again, there will be local Brunei companies that would want to look for UK partners that can help them come up with a structured accredited training program specializing in each of the priority sectors that I've mentioned earlier. And moving on, some of the key cultural things that you should be aware of in Brunei. Brunei is an official Muslim country, and regretfully, it is a dry country. They don't sell alcohol, even at the Brunei airport duty free, but you can bring in 1 bottle and declare only for personal consumption. So it's best to declare a bottle of champagne, a bottle of red wine, you name it, and just bring it to your hotel room and for your personal consumption only. As for handshake, for the UK male, you can only shake hands with a Muslim woman if she offers her hand. If she extends her hand for you to shake it, then take it. And if she, there are times when there's a Muslim woman who doesn't offer her hand, then don't prompt it. And it's the same for the males as well, the Muslim man. If he extends and shake hands with a female delegate, then please do take it. It's only, I think it's more like a cultural sensitivity here, some of the gestures, but if they do extend their hand, please do so. Please do take it. And I think that's it from me. I hope that was very clear. And if you have any further questions, please do send it out by typing out your questions in the chat room. And that's it for me. Looking forward to having you in Brunei. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Titi. That was fabulous. Really good overview of both the opportunities, the education structure, and the mission. So some very useful information there. And as Titi said, if you've got some questions, do add them under the questions link on your website that you're looking at now. There's a little button that you can press and add your own questions. So we're going to move on now to Kelly, who will be our host in the Philippines. And again, another fabulous program set up there. So Kelly, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Let me just pull my presentation. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Yes, please confirm if you can see my slides now. Yes. Okay, so I will talk about the education opportunities in the Philippines. I'll start my presentation off with the Philippine statistics on education, the legal framework and opportunities, focusing on higher education and TVET. So the Philippines, as you can see in the map, we're right smack in the middle of Southeast Asia. We are a large, we have a large population. We're 107 million at the moment. So we're the 13th largest country in terms of population. The median age is 24 years old. For the population age between 15 to 24 is around 20 million people. Over 50% of the population thus is below 25 years old. Our higher education sector is larger than most of our ASEAN neighbors, including Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Malaysia. I will show you the numbers later on. While we do have a large higher education sector, still the quality of education is still problematic. Hence, we foresee international partnerships, particularly with the UK, to be of added value and benefit to uplift the quality and standards here. In terms of the education systems, our basic education is governed by the Department of Education. So we follow the K-12 system. People generally graduate when they are 18 years old, and then they move on to higher education, or they have the option to go to further TVET studies. Higher education here, these are the universities and colleges. It is governed by the Commission on Higher Education. So if you will see the table here, our public universities, which are state funded, while there are only around 200 institutions, they service around 50% of students who take higher education. Half of the population taking higher education go to private schools. The top 5 universities in the Philippines are University of the Philippines, Ateneo de Manila, De La Salle University, University of Santo Tomas, and I don't know the 5th, but these are the four largest campuses in the Philippines, and there are potential for partnerships as well. For the technical education in the Philippines, we've got TESDA, who is governing. So basically there are 3 government agencies who oversee the entire education spectrum in the Philippines. Sometimes it can be an issue because there are overlapping of functions, but we are doing our best to make sure that there are bright lines amongst the functions of the 3 agencies to assist also investors in the sector on whom they will talk to directly. For TVET, so we've got TESDA, as mentioned. This much of technical skills are funded under state scholarships. there are around 2.3 million people who are enrollees in TVET per year. It's become very popular because there are many Filipinos who desire overseas work, and a qualification for overseas work would have a state certification of particular skills. Of the 2.3 million, 1.8 million are government scholars. There are around 35,900 TVET trainers in the Philippines. While much of it is publicly funded, there are still TVET providers which are privately delivered. Look at that, there's 2,800 private TVET institutions. Even if they service only a smaller percentage of TVET takers, still it is a lucrative activity for them. Going to the legal framework, so I'll just discuss the three major laws that may concern companies who are participating in the trade mission. I just would like to flag that in the Philippine Constitution, 60% of academic institutions must be owned by Filipinos, and there are control limitations in that, meaning foreigners cannot control how these academic and training institutions are run. So that presents a problem for some foreign investors in the Philippines, but in reality, a lot of international institutions would not want to go to the Philippines alone. It is preferred to work with a partner. So we also have a Free Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, whereby the state fully funds universities and skills, publicly delivered university and skills training in the Philippines. And then we also have the newly enacted Transnational Higher Education Act, which relaxed the constitutional interpretation that no foreigner can deliver teaching and training activities in the Philippines. Because of the law now, Commission on Higher Education and TESDA are more comfortable to deal with internationalization of education, and hence a lot of regulations and restrictions that will prevent UK training institutions and universities from coming in the Philippines. It's going to be much more easier now. The state will now also recognize dual degrees and dual certifications. What we see now are the opportunities in higher education. This is according to the Commission on Higher Education themselves. They are looking for enhancement in niche courses such as data science, analytics, and statistics. It's really geared towards Industrial Revolution 4.0. They are also starting to deliver and develop their own open distance learning platforms. This is done in partnership with the British Council in the Philippines. And then they are also keen to have more research partnerships, because the Philippines, while we have a lot of universities, there are not a lot of academic researches being published in peer-reviewed journals. And also Transnational Education Act, which is now a big thing. The Americans, the Canadians, and the Australians are trying to enter the market, which was pioneered actually by the British Council and the Commission on Higher Education here in the Philippines. Just a brief on TNE, we're now offering 18 dual degree programs. So this is again pioneered by the British Council. And then below you would see in terms of research and development, we are looking for more opportunities to partner with UK institutions because of their reputation and expertise in higher education. Opportunities in TVET. So I'm going to mainly focus, based on the invitees and the attendees to the mission. I've kind of classified everybody into four major groups in line with what TESDA is looking for. So For example, TESDA has flagged that identified challenges are in Industrial Revolution 4.0, the demand for higher level skills, and then also to make sure that the TVET training and delivery here is more inclusive, to take into account the poverty and also the people in the provinces and the lesser education, and to also have access to opportunities for prosperity. And then the key sectors we are focusing on will be hospitality and tourism, which in the Philippines also includes the culinary sector. Construction is super big because of the Build, Build, Build program of President Duterte. Part of construction will also include other infrastructure projects such as rail and transport. They're also looking at BIM, Building Information Management, I think. And then the Philippines is also heavily dependent on business process outsourcing for employment here for fresh graduates. So because of Industrial Revolution 4.0, TESDA is also stepping up on in terms of training that it will deliver for IT. Logistics, because of online shopping, is foreseen to grow. And the other sectors they are looking at are manufacturing and then health and wellness. The services needed by the TVET and universities in the Philippines were really focused on these areas. They really want to have dual degrees and certifications. A lot of it will depend on the ability for their faculty to have capacity building opportunities as well. They need curriculum development to keep up with international standards. Teacher training and train the trainers are always a good start. They want to have some of their courses to be accredited. If they fall short of meeting the stringent, for example, Ofqual standards, they still want to have that partnership with the UK just to vet that their curriculum is still delivering world-class training, and definitely resource materials. So at the TIT, what we can help UK companies is to do your market research, to connect you to the authorities, the regulators, to connect you to the right buyers, because there are a lot of people who are interested, but not everybody has the financial capacity to partner with UK institutions, or as well the drive to have a sustainable partnership. So we can help you match with the right people. We can help you organize events, workshops. We can help you to put people attend those seminars and workshops that you would organize. So in sum, it's good to invest in the Philippines and enter the market here because of our history of being an American colony. We are an English-speaking country. We've got laws which would support partnerships with international institutions such as the UK. Government, like the Commission on Higher Education, is the key driver to internationalize higher education in the Philippines. The universities and TVET institutions are very much excited to partner with UK institutions. They just don't know how. So I've been going around the city delivering Jonathan Ledger's presentation on how partnerships will happen. And there are more restrictions on foreign investments being relaxed in the Philippines at the moment. Just the challenge is the foreign equity restriction. Again, the fluctuation in foreign exchange, affordability is still an issue. And also we've got a bad traffic situation and the internet can be quite slow. But other than that, nothing that cannot be mitigated. And we will help you along those that ambition to come to the Philippines and export your education services. As for the program, it's going to be pretty much straightforward. The first day on December 5, it will be getting to know the Philippines. So we will have the TESDA director in Manila who has grassroots knowledge about the needs of the sector and what is marketable for UK institutions to deliver in the Philippines. She will start off in the morning. We are also inviting the ADB education specialist for Southeast Asia to deliver a presentation on education opportunities, not only in the Philippines, but the rest of the region as well, to maximize your visit. And also we are focusing on the special topics. We will have Philippine speakers to deliver lectures on the following sectors, such as construction, hospitality and tourism, the culinary, and then higher education. So apart from industry experts who have been working in those sectors for quite some time, we are also inviting specific companies to further illustrate what opportunities are available for partnership with their companies. So perhaps this will also give you ideas on specifically what Philippine companies you would want to market your products and services to. In the afternoon, there will just be, we're trying to organize a courtesy call with TESDA, the regulators for TVET. And then if there is enough time, we will organize a specific ocular site visit depending on the sector where the UK training provider is interested in. If you want to do an ocular in construction, maritime, hospitality, and for higher education institutions, perhaps we can give you a tour of one of the key campuses of the existing TNE partners. For the second day, on December 6th, now it's the turn of the UK companies to talk about their offer to the Philippine audience. For example, for higher education, we have the British Council to talk about their TNE partnerships. And then for TVET, actually all companies would have at least a 10-minute presentation time, so you can talk about your offer, the strengths of your partnerships, your case studies, and then we will organize a B2B meeting for each Philippine university or TVET provider who will be attending during lunchtime, so that we have allotted 2 hours for B2B, or it's going to be in a speed dating setup. We want to maximize your contact time with potential buyers. So we will send you the schedule of your meetings as soon as we finalize who are attending. We want it to be also targeted. We don't want it to be too big. So we're looking at 50 to 60 Philippine university and TVET training providers to attend. We're choosing them carefully so that we increase our chances of closing potential partnerships for you. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kelly. That's great. Again, really helpful to get an overview of the market and the opportunities, and also what's going to be going on during the 2 days that we're in Manila. Right, we're going to hand over now to Jonathan Ledger from DIT. As you've heard, during the mission, there will be the opportunity to give very short presentations. Sometimes it'll be a minute or 2 minutes, other times, as Kelly's just said, you may get 10 minutes. But Jonathan just wants to give an overview and the kind of top tips for your pitching and company showcase activities. So Jonathan, over to you.
Good morning, everybody. Jonathan Ledger here. Thank you very much. Really interesting to hear so far about the exciting plans that are developing in both Brunei and in Manila. I'd just like to re-emphasize the point that Kelly made. Manila has traffic, and if you haven't experienced Manila traffic, you certainly will do. You know, what a journey that should be 15 minutes can take an hour. Just a quick few tips. I've been on many missions and seen many missions take place, and the presentations that are within those. And I have to say, you know, I really do struggle with the type of presentations that we're seeing in most cases from the UK. So I'm just urging you to really consider your presentation. So first rule is a 5 by 5 by 5 rule. So no more than, you know, 5 words per line on your slides, and then only 5 lines per slide, and a maximum of 5 slides. So, you know, it's got to be really kind of neat and concise. No animations, no moving parts as such. Keep it really, really kind of clear and simple. There's some guidelines, obviously, that have been issued that talks about, you know, keeping it clear, the font, the background colours and things like that. So please do take heed of that. Now, for me, the most important thing is about what you are actually presenting in terms of what your offer is. And I see a lot of presentations where everybody is presenting everything about their organisation. I would really urge you to stick to the things that your organisation is at its very best at delivering, not the mediocre stuff, not the kind of wider remit. Just stick to the very best stuff that you are doing, and be a specialist in a handful of areas than trying to cover all things in all bases, because actually that's not going to work, and most people don't believe that everyone can do everything anyway. So you know, please don't oversell yourself and overcommit yourself through your presentations. And I see, again, I'll make the point, I see too many organizations doing that, and it really kind of doesn't wash very well with clients. You do need to consider, given all the information that both Citi and that Kelly have given you, the background context for your presentation. So really think about how you tailor your presentations to make sure that they will hit the mark. And you know, there's nothing wrong with tailoring and rejigging your presentations every day. I can tell you on a previous mission, you know, we had presentations for 5 days in a row, and the team of delegates that came with us, they would adjust their presentations every single day to make sure that it fits the purpose for the next day. And I think that's a brilliant way of just making sure that, you know, your content is right and that you're hitting the mark in terms of what's required by the client. It is important to make sure that everything is contextualized in that way so that you pique the interest of the audience members. So just really quickly then, it's a 5 by 5 by 5, so that's 5 words per line max, 5 lines per slide, and a maximum of 5 slides, and your presentations should fit within the time spans that are given. And then I think generally they're 5 to 10 minutes max, so you need to allow enough time for a bit of questioning and things to take place at the end. I know from a DIT perspective, we're expecting a synopsis of your presentations and a copy of your slides in advance of your presentation. And I'm happy if any of you want to ping your slides to me to provide you with some advice on making sure that they are tailored correctly and you know, colours are right and things like that. So if you want to do that, I'm happy to help you with that process. There we are. That's it from me. I wish you really well with the trip in Brunei and Philippines. I was out there in September. There are huge, huge opportunities. And, you know, please do take advantage of our experts in both countries, because, you know, they are an absolute fountain of knowledge. And I know that they will make your trip really productive. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. That's great. I'm sure we will all take note of your comments, and we'll have some phenomenal pitches and company showcases. So I'm just going to wrap up now. I don't think we've had any additional questions over the last few minutes, but if you have got any burning questions, type them in now to the box. Just for the delegates, please can you make sure that you read all the information that's being sent from the training gateway. We know we give you a lot of information. We know that you will get a lot of emails from us, but the information we're sending is important. So please make sure you read it. It makes the mission going much more smoothly if you know what the program is, where you're going to be at different times, what the hotels are, etc., etc. Some of you will have had emails, or probably all of you have had emails asking you to confirm your credit card details with the hotels, etc. So please can you make sure you do that. Remember to book your flights. Make sure you've sorted all that out. I'm sure you've done that already. Practice your talk, as Jonathan has said. And we've sent some information about tabletop banners. Obviously, if you want to bring a big pop-up, that's fine, but they are horrendous to lug around, especially when you're going on the kind of little hopper flights, etc., and on and off buses. So we would recommend you just bring one of the A4 or A3 tabletop banners with you. Fits in your luggage, it's so much easier. I think we've sent you details about how and where you can order those if you don't know a supplier yourselves. Finally, I think remember to bring some leaflets, again contextualized if possible to the markets you're going into. So rather than bringing a book of everything that you do, think about what your offer is in each specific market and bring the appropriate collateral, marketing collateral with you. So I think that's all from me. There will be an informal dinner, don't know where yet. I'll be asking Citi for a recommendation on the Sunday night when we arrive in Brunei. Hopefully we'll be able to go out and have a dry dinner somewhere and just get to know each other a little bit before the mission starts on the Monday morning. So if you can join us, we'll be meeting in the hotel reception at about 7 p.m. on the Sunday night. But again, you'll get an email with that sort of information. So hopefully that's answered many of your questions. As I say, in the next few days, if you've got any more questions, feel free to contact any of the people who have spoken today. You will get access to a copy of all these slides. And I look forward to meeting you all in a few weeks' time. Thank you very much. I don't know if anybody else from Post or Alan or Veronica want to say any more, but if not, we'll close the webinar. Okay, thanks very much. We'll close it now.